Have you ever played a class against expectation, like a cowardly fighter or a straight-laced rogue?
Yes.
Have you ever played a character against type? Well, you can check out our new series on class role-playing. Role-playing class. Anyway.
I try to, in every character, have something that's against type. Even if that against type is leaning into a type, if that makes sense. So, let me give you, for instance, playing Drow. I know a lot of times when players play Drow, they want to distance themselves from sort of the evil reputation of the Drow. They want to be the only good one, or they want to be one of the ones who broke free from it. And I decided to play a Drow who was scarred by their experience, and it wasn't even the setting. It wasn't even as bad as, say, Forgotten Realms, but who was deferential to priestly power, who was deferential to the women in his life, and would always, without really thinking about it, do whatever it was that they said, because he grew up in an environment where his opinion didn't matter. It was what the priestesses wanted. And in that respect, I saw that as playing a bit against type, because normally you have Drow who are rebellious, who are good to a fault in order to sort of erase the reputation that Drow have. I don't know. What about you? I know that you've played so many more characters than I've ever played.
Yeah. I mean, just trying to think. Playing against type. Maybe not the character. Maybe just the race. I mean, I love Roscoe and the halfling barbarian, and the idea of a tiny little ball of muscle that's you shouldn't really be scared of, but it's scarier.
It's terrifying.
It's terrifying because small things coming at you are terrifying.
Small things with sharp objects.
So, there's that. Playing against my typical type, my diviner, Aristides the Unblinking, having a guy who his only attack spell was Vicious Mockery.
Right.
And that's it. He's a wizard. Diviners don't necessarily have to not attack anything, but
Right.
I wanted to make a conscious decision and play a complete support character.
Yeah. That's a good point, right? Because playing against type doesn't have to refer to your character's race or class. It can refer to your playing style.
Yeah, I mean, I'm normally a fighter that loves to roll in, kick down the door, and kill shit. And then my guy retired because he killed 2 guys with Vicious Mockery.
Right. Yes.
And he retired because that tore him up.
It moved to a pure support role within the party. I like it. I like the idea of a straight-laced rogue, right? A straight-laced rogue could be any number of things. It could be a reformed criminal who's looking to turn a new leaf. It could be a...
The catch me if you can guy.
The catch me if you can
After you
guy.
start working for the FBI.
Sure, yeah. It could be your reformed rogue could be like a cop, a city guard, an inquisitive, or something like that, who's straight-laced. They're roguish. They have the skills, but they're not a criminal. They don't have a criminal mind. They don't have those inclinations. Same with like a cowardly fighter. Emma is playing a cowardly war cleric right now in our home game, and it's fun to watch because she's playing with 2 complete noobs. They've played like 4 sessions of D&D ever, and it's been with us. And so they look to her as like, well, you've done this before. You sort of know. They sort of follow her lead, and she's just kind of like, well, my guy is terrified right now, and doesn't really know what to do. And so she's playing it as the investure of the war god's power is a burden for her. She would rather not have it, but it has to deal with it anyway. And so I think that's interesting, and has created some interesting moments in the campaign.
Yeah.
I highly recommend it. Play against type.